Ladies and gentlemen, yes, out there in lovely.
Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
I fucked up. Hey, hey everybody, this is Alex. This is the Ramble. I'll try and do it tonight without fucking up. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, out there in lovely Las Vegas, Nevada, the song stylings of Stephen. What was?
Oh, hi everybody.
Yeah, hi there with your sound that isn't that good. When are you going to get your computer fixed?
Oh, I called somebody up to look at it, and they said they charge $125 for a house call. I go, well, hell, I can get a new computer for that much. So I said, no, thank you.
Yeah, you don't need that. You don't need
I got to have some Korean kid, just have him do it and then free him afterwards.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
A bag of candy corn and, send him on his way.
Excuse me, folks, if I made my arrow go in the, see, I can do that with him. But I don't want that. Okay. Anyway, so you $125. I'm telling you,
and then it's like $100 an hour.
if I were there, I could fix it for you in 20 minutes.
Well, come on out, Vegas is happening, baby.
You know, I mean, all you got to do is you got to go in there and you got to like erase the whole hard drive. That's it.
Yeah.
And then,
sure.
then reinstall the operating system, which is very simple, and start from scratch. Then and put in a new password, and then write it down so you remember it. See, the problem he has a computer, but he can't remember the password. That's
I've
it.
only used 4 of them in my life, and none of them work. So it's not that I can't remember it. I think the machine has gone batty on me.
Well, I've got a PC here. And it actually recognizes me from the camera. I don't even have to have a password. It just goes, "Oh, that's Alex."
That's modern. That's mine's years old. So
no, actually, yours would probably do this if you have a camera in it. Yeah,
it's got a camera in it.
Yeah,
sure.
it would do it because most PCs now with the new PC software have that built in. So,
yeah. Oh,
so
okay.
you could do that.
Well, come on out, man. There's cheap flights.
I'm dealing. It's funny with you guys. I'm dealing with the biggest bunch of Luddites that I've ever had to deal with. I mean, your arm is getting tired from holding up your phone.
Yeah.
Bubbles can't even get onto the phone.
That's right.
I mean, Bubbles is just forget it.
He's in 1985, man.
If we ever see a video of him, we'll probably be sorely disappointed because he probably got a facelift and looks gorgeous.
Looks like a Chinese ET.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like he has a good reason for not getting a phone, I think. And that good reason is he feels that if he got one, it would ruin his reputation.
Uh-huh. As what?
As what, exactly.
And I don't know.
Yeah. So how have you been?
Oh, good. I've decided to form and manage a stuttering doo-wop group. So it's never been done before.
A stuttering doo-wop group?
Picture 5 guys doing that. The stammer tones. I can see it
now.
The
stammer.
Yeah, picture 5 guys doing that. I'd pay to see that.
Yeah, you've been indoors too long.
Angel.
You've been indoors too long, my friend. Anyway.
No, here it's 100 degrees outside. I got the air conditioning on. Me and the cats are here. We got nothing going on.
It's 100 degrees inside?
It's good. Yeah, it's getting there.
Now, you have a new place, right, than the one you had?
Yeah.
Because you got kicked out of the one you were in for...
Oh, no, I didn't get kicked out. It was a standoff. It was a Polish standoff, a Jewish-Japanese standoff.
Yeah.
But I was glad to get out of there. It was falling apart anyway. So
you probably could have stayed there.
This place is smaller but much better. I like it. I don't like. The other place had a guarded gate, and as you know, Jews don't like gates with guards at them. So it reminds us of a simpler time. So I like it here much better. I have a friend who moved into the complex, and another friend who's moving in. So it's just a nice little older people thing.
Older people? Oh, now you're relating to older people.
And I'm one of the youngest people here. It's like Civil War veterans and their parents, as they say. So,
well, let's see here. You could become the elder comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could start like doing older people jokes. Like,
yeah, sure.
I have arthritis so bad.
My bursitis is so bad that how many people? Oh, wait a minute! You snuck in here. You put on stick-on age spots, though you're not really 65. Get out of here.
I'll tell you what I hate about aging. There are a couple of things I hate about aging. Number one, my bags keep getting droopier and droopier to the point where I'm going to be droopy dog pretty soon. But the thing is that you grow hair, you lose hair up here. All right?
I'm there.
Okay? You lose hair.
Why trying to kill Superman?
You lose hair there. But all of a sudden, it starts coming out of your ears.
Oh, yeah. You get new hair.
And it comes coming out of your nose. I mean, you grow hair in places you never grew hair before.
Right. Yeah. Hair in your ears. My God.
Yeah. I mean, what is with that?
Used to have hair over my ears. Now I have hair in my ears.
Oh, yeah.
People, what is the purpose of this?
Yeah, there's a God. Yeah, sure there's a God. If there was a God, he wouldn't do this to us, okay?
Practical jokes.
And then my wife today said, you want to see my modeling portfolio? And I said, no, I don't. And she said, why didn't you want to see my modeling portfolio? Because that's pictures of you when you were in your 20s, and I can't lay my hands on that woman.
That's God forever.
Okay. And so she shows me all these photos of this person I never met. Okay. Posing. And she looks great. I mean, she looks great in them. But, that's
Correct.
then and this is now. So what are you trying to show me? Here are the goods you never got? What? Because
it's all a tease.
Because when she was younger, she was my type.
Uh-huh.
I got hot for that kind of woman,
That was a while ago.
And here
presidents ago.
Yeah, and there are even naked pictures of her. They're nude photos of her.
Jeez.
And I'm going, gee, all that went up is now going down.
That's the way it is. Gravity takes its course.
Yeah. So, I mean, you would think that if there was a God as you got older, you got better looking, or something like that.
Oh, only if you're Cesar Romero.
Now, you ready for the death of the month?
What's the death of the month?
Norman Lloyd died.
Who's Norman Lloyd?
Norman Lloyd is, I think, the oldest actor in SAG.
Wow.
Yeah.
What have I seen him in?
You remember Saboteur Hitchcock?
Yeah.
You remember the guy who falls off the Statue of Liberty?
Oh, how about that?
That was Norman Lloyd.
Oh, man, he knew how to fall off a statue.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
And he was just a great actor. He'd been around for a long time. In fact, he was working until his last film was 2015. Okay.
Wow.
He must have made that
mile-long resumes.
Probably made that when he was 101.
Even more than William Shallert, this guy worked.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, he lived to be older than Kirk Douglas, who made it to what, 103?
102 or 103, something like that.
Yeah, and his wife just died. Kirk Douglas's wife, she died at 102.
Oh, wow. That's a long life.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, Michael Douglas is a orphan.
My father was sitting around saying, kill me. Somebody kill me.
Did you ever think about that, though, in your parents? You've lost both of your parents, have you?
Yeah, they're both elsewhere.
When the last one went, did you immediately think, I'm an orphan?
I was kind of thinking,
I think you're only an orphan if you're under 18. I think that's the thing.
Free at last, free at last.
After that, you just lost a parent,
Yeah, I was.
My mother went at 100, and I was. How old was I at the time? Gee, it was. I was maybe 60 something, and I didn't think, hey, gee, now I'm an orphan.
Yeah.
You don't think about that when you're older.
No, I didn't think about that. No, I'm an orphan. You know, I was like, yeah. What are you
But when you're like 5 years old, oh, poor kid's an orphan.
oh, little kid's an orphan. Now I'm like, yeah, what am I, 65?
Yeah, I think is until you move out, you're an orphan if both parents die.
Yep,
I think that's what it is. But those are some jokes you could incorporate in your old person act.
That's right. How many people remember the good old days? I'll tell you. Now my tribute to the great Ned Glass, ladies and gentlemen.
But you haven't gotten the best. I mean, you start getting these things that you never thought you would get. Like I have neuropathy. What? But, you know, I don't want to have an old person's thing to complain about. Oh, my neuropathy is acting up.
Damn.
You know.
Bursitis, that's the old person.
And then see this. You see that black and blue mark?
Oh my God! Stop shooting up.
They shot me up on Monday.
Shot you up? I've been shot up there in the hospital.
They shot me up with for arthritis. Okay, they put a cortisone treatment in there. Slowly, the pain is going away, though. I'll have to admit that. You know. But so these are the things that happen to you as you get older, and you go, do I have to believe in God? Because if there was a God, these things wouldn't be going on. Things would be getting better. Oh, there. You're 80 years old now.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, your dick is going to be bigger than it's ever been. You know, something like that.
You have to suffer if you want to go to paradise.
Instead of looking down at it and going, come on. You know, I mean,
he hates his creations.
You know, it used to be my penis used to be my best friend. Now it's just somebody who doesn't want to have anything to do with me. Yeah. So you know, I was asking. I interviewed Will Durst the other day from his hospital bed. Right?
How's he doing?
He's doing fine. You know, I mean, he's doing fine. I mean, you say, how's he doing? He had a stroke. You know, I mean, there's a limit.
Can't pole vault anymore.
There's a limit to how good you can do when you've had a stroke.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But he had, but he's got he's got a great spirit about it. He's trying to do something about it. It's a long haul. It's a real long haul.
Sure it is.
But I was interviewing him and I asked him. I said, don't get bothered when I ask you this question. Do you ever get horny? I mean, you've had a stroke. You're lying in bed. You know you've got to learn how to walk and your arm and but that shouldn't come between you and your penis. You know, do you ever get horny? He says, oh, yeah, all the time. We got these Filipino nurses around here, aides. He said, there's some really good-looking ones, you know.
You want the
I said, well, what do you do about it? He said, well, you know, we have lots of Kleenex here and lotion.
There you go. Hey, get it done, baby. Get it done, baby. Roll the dice.
So, I mean, but I guess I just don't like getting older, you know.
Who does? Who the fuck wants to get older?
Yeah.
Then you just fall apart, and then you're dead. Yeah.
Well, let's see here. You're
lucky.
You recently had an operation, right?
Yeah, it was more of a procedure.
A procedure. I see.
Yes, AFib, last August 26th.
Were you in and out in one day, or?
I was in and out one day.
It's an outpatient procedure.
Yep, outpatient. They went in me, but I went out.
And so how did you fibrillate anymore? No.
I haven't had a single episode. And boy, have I been stressed. So no.
Yeah. So what they have to go in? They have to go into the chest to do that, or what do they do?
The groin.
The groin. They do the groin thing where they stick something.
It'd be a good old groin, a good old catheter, but I was out of it, so I don't remember a thing.
I never got this one either. To get to the heart now, they go through your groin. You know.
Whatever they did, it worked. So yeah.
What?
Whatever they did, it worked. So yeah.
Yeah, but that's how they get to your heart now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and unless you got to have a bypass, then they crack you open like a nut, you know.
Oh, God.
And you wind up with a zipper job.
Get the old rib cracker.
But my heart is supposedly in great shape, so, you know, but everything else is falling apart.
Something's going to get you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to I take my daily walk that I do every day.
I do that.
And but I can't walk as well as I used to. You know, it's really getting to me. Yeah, I'm sick and tired of getting sick and tired. So you been working at all? He has to adjust his phone. What are you doing? Now you lost the audio? Hello? Can you hear me?
Boop.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
You back?
Yeah. No, that's why you got to get your computer.
That didn't work.
What? It's all working. It's working. Don't touch anything.
There we go. I get these phone calls that say scam likely because these bullshit calls I don't answer, but the video goes off when I get them.
Can't you do something with your phone that puts all calls on hold? I mean, where you just don't get them for the time being?
I'd like to do that, yes. I don't want to get any calls from anyone ever.
What happens is he gets a call, and then in order to get rid of it, he's got to punch his screen, which gets in the way of the camera, which it causes. We got to get that computer of yours working. Damn it!
I know that computer was.
So have you been doing any work at all? Have you been because everything's opening up, right?
Yeah, everything's opening up. I did that commercial. We're doing another. We're filming another one on May 24th. I got the Laugh Factory in the middle of June, and then I'm doing the Laugh Factory in Reno in July, and that's enough. You know, a few gigs here and there is good enough for me.
That's pretty good. Well, you got something. You got something. It's slowly coming back.
Slowly coming back.
Are the showrooms opening up again, or?
Yeah. And Brad Gallis Club told me to get in touch with them in the summer to hopefully work for them. So we'll see. Little by little.
Good. That sounds it sounds like you're going to be doing what you like to do best.
I'm still here, you bastards.
Which is to do comedy so you can get laid. It's.
I used to do comedy so I get laid. Now I do it so I get paid and go home.
Get paid instead of laid.
Getting laid, get paid. I'm good. These days I'm good for 2 thrusts. Then I want to watch cartoons. Come on.
During this whole COVID thing, have you sat down and went, "Boy, that's a funny joke I just made up, and I have nowhere to do it." Except with Bennett, maybe, I
do those stupid podcast shows, as you go on, it's like 10 other comics, and they all suck, and everyone's talking over each other. I won't do those. So, no, I just held on to my jokes and tried to remember.
I don't know why I haven't done that kind of podcast show. I should get you together with Kravitz and Bubbles and Durst, and
I'll do it with guys I know, but I'm not going to do these stupid fucking open micer shows like 10 other people who suck.
Well, I mean, asking a comedian to do his act. Did they ask you to do your act?
Yeah. No, let's just riff and talk. I'm not going to do my act. There's no audience here. Fuck you.
But they don't know how to. Most people don't know how to riff and talk with other comics. The one thing I developed is I knew how to get a group of 5 comics in a room and make it work.
Yeah.
Mainly because, number one, I'm not a comedian, so I wasn't competing. So I just let you guys go.
You're David Susskind, yeah.
Yeah, and but I would imagine some of these things are dreadful because probably the person hosting them doesn't know how to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, I watched a couple of them. I won't do them, but they're pretty bad.
Gee, I ought to do something with a bunch of you.
I'd rather suck on a wet turd.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, listen, we've kind of run out of time here.
Already? Well, join us next week, folks. Same channel, same time.
We're gonna, So anyway,
the Jack Money program is brought to you by Bite Experts.
It's brought to you by Jello.
By Jello, Jello.
And then later on, they went from Jello to Lucky Strikes. I mean, here's a comedian, Jack Benny, who is, I think, one of my favorites because you know what he was? He was like me. People say, "Alex, are you a comedian?" And I said, "I'm a broadcast comedian."
Broadcast.
A broadcast comedian. And they go, "Oh, is that something new?" And I went, "No, Jack Benny was a broadcast comedian." Mm-hmm. He basically did his best work and his best comedy on radio and television.
He was amazing.
Okay, but he was a broadcast comedian. He used to, in the early years, he went on stages and did stuff, but for most of the rest of his life, that wasn't what he did.
Yeah.
And so I always honored him as a broadcast comedian, and that's what I loved about him.
Yeah.
But it's interesting if you want to think about the negatives. Let's give it the we have this woke movement in this country. People have suddenly come to realize, what was horrible about Jack Benny? He probably caused more cancer in this country than any human being because his sponsor was
Don Wilson did the commercials. I blame him.
Yeah, because he was sponsored for the last many years of his career by Lucky Strike.
LSMFT, get happy, go lucky. Back to you, Jack.
Yeah, LSMFT. What did it stand for?
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
Oh, very good, very
Not to be
good.
confused with LSD, which stands for lysergic acid methionine. Back to you.
Diethylamide.
Oh,
Wait a minute. Diethylamide tartrate.
Oh, even better, Jack.
It was LSD, and there was a tartrate at the end of it, and yeah, invented by discovered by a Dr. Hoffman.
Dr. Hoffman, yes, Dr. Albert Hoffman.
In Switzerland, who was looking for a cure for migraine headaches. And he'd been working on one thing, which was this lysergic acid, and he was driving home on his bicycle, and all of a sudden he got woozy, and he started seeing hallucinations, and he couldn't figure out what it was, and the next day he remembered that he'd been playing with this LSD, this lysergic acid diethylamide, and he accidentally touched his tongue with his finger. And he had gotten a dose of this, so he tried it again, and sure enough, off to La La Land he went.
Again, yeah, first and second trip ever.
Now, what's interesting, you want another little fact about LSD? This will really get you. Did you ever hear of a disease that hit France in, I think, the 17th century, something like that, called St. Elmo's fire?
I've heard that term.
Yeah. Well, St. Elmo's fire was this disease that would infect an entire village, and they would go crazy. They saw hallucinations. They did all of that, right?
Ass trip.
What they found out in going back and looking at the records and everything, here's what happened. The rye in their granaries went bad. And when rye goes bad, it becomes a hallucinogenic. And so everybody was eating rye bread in these towns and then started hallucinating. So what Hoffman was doing was synthesizing what they had in that rye bread.
Oh, how about that?
And that's where we got LSD from.
Thank you. Vincent Van Gogh had some of that when he made Starry Night. Benny, what you tripping on?
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And you can, if you want to, you can get credits for this course I just gave.
That's true.
Hey, listen. Good talking to you, my friend.
Good talking to you, my
Always
friend.
great talking to the great Stephen Pearl, who's playing absolutely nowhere, but when he is, go see him so that he won't
see me when I'm playing somewhere.
And laugh a lot. You will. You'll have to laugh. It's the law. Ladies and gentlemen,
Steve, up your lunch.
Bye, Stephen.
Toodaloo.
Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Thank you very much, Stephen Pearl. Yay, Stephen Pearl. Okay, hello, everybody. I'm Alex Bennett. Thanks for joining the program. I didn't know it was falling apart. Thank you. It's joining the program. Whatever. Anyway, how are you? What is this? Tea tree oil. Why did I have this? I had this for some ailment that Marjorie said it would be really good, and it smells interesting. It smells like it should get you high, but it's called tea tree oil. If anybody knows what it is, let me know. It's one of the many medicinal things that Marjorie puts out there for me. Anyway, let's see here. Otherwise, I did my walk again today. Today I walked out. If you go over to Facebook, don't watch this show. You can just go over to Facebook and watch the video of me at the park. Nobody really watches it, but I do it anyway. And on this one, I talk about, what do I talk about? Oh, I talk about the Jewish Socialist Bund and versus the Zionists. And I sit there on a park bench talking about this kind of stuff. So occasionally I do stuff on Facebook, which I'm going to stop doing because I think they're holding back on some of my numbers. There's something wrong because all of a sudden the numbers went precipitously down, and it's something that they did at Facebook and something they probably did with their own best interests at heart. And so anyway, what the hell? You know, I just do the show. I do it to keep me alive, and if that's the only thing it does, fine. And if we don't have any listeners, fuck it. In fact, we just lost 2 of them just a second ago. Anyway, let me bring some people in here. Let me see here for this citizen panel. There's they're basically right now the usual suspects. Actually, if you want to, you can call and not be one of the usual suspects. But here they are. There's Jeff, and there's Brian, and there's Alan, and Charlie Wallace should be coming along soon. He should be joining us soon. And hello to all of you. How are you?
Good.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
Yes. Oh, he's true. When I got off of the show last night, I heard Alan say he's not going to do any more comedy. So I guess he's starting off right away.
Right?
Did you say something, Brian?
Why did you leave last night? I didn't get that. You had to go watch a basketball game?
Golden State Warriors were playing the LA Lakers, so I was here for halftime and I had to go.
Oh, I see. Okay, so we were your halftime show.
Yeah, and I just remembered that, and I go, oh shoot, I gotta go. So yeah.
And what, you had friends at the house watching it too?
No, just me yelling and screaming by myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Big fan are you of the basketball?
Baseball, basketball, and football. And Charlie and I, we have a little rivalry for football. But and then Adrian will come by with her iPad. She's playing, and I said, "Baby, get away from here. You don't want to be here." So, because right when something happens, start yelling and screaming and
you do know that years from now in a psychiatrist's office, Adrian is going to be talking to the psychiatrist, and he's going to be saying, "So, what do you think was the worst problem when you were a kid?" Daddy never played with me when he was watching this thing with a basketball. And that's why I went out and killed half the population of San Jose.
No, she plays basketball with me now. So
does she really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we go outside.
But why don't you let her watch the game with you?
Because she could be injured, especially last night's game. So.
What do you mean she could be injured? What do you do?
Because when something happens, Dad, you're yelling and screaming, and come on, Charlie, what happens?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
See, I was never into sports like that. That's insanity.
It's it's something inside that has to be grown with you. Like when Charlie loves the Cowboys and I love the Eagles. When our two teams play, it's not just somebody like you could come over and sit down with us and understand the stuff that's going in our body at every single play. It's just something, it's
Did I ever get that excited over sports? I got a little excited over sports once. Baseball sometimes. If I'm watching but if I'm watching something in which there's something at stake, like it's the World Series, and it's the final game, that excites me for some reason. But only baseball. Basketball, guys running back and forth with dribbling a ball, big deal. I never saw any value in that. But baseball was a skill. I think that's why I like baseball. It's not really an athletic endeavor, in my opinion, as much as it's a skill. Am I right, Charlie? Am I wrong?
I gotta disagree with you there.
Really?
Yeah, baseball is a skill. Baseball is an athletic event.
Well, I don't know about that
You
because
gotta be an athlete.
let me explain something here to you.
I understand.
If a guy is out of shape, it's probably because he doesn't do a lot of sports, right? So if baseball was a good exercise as a sport, then you wouldn't have the best baseball players of all time being a fat ass like Babe Ruth. Right?
There are 300-pound guys on the front line. Those guys aren't skinny.
Well, that's in football, though.
Yeah.
That's in football. But they're there. The reason they're so heavy is because they're just these brutes, So, that's the reason.
I think what you're saying, though, is that and And I do believe that there's more of a strategy with baseball, even though people don't see it if they don't understand the game, because every pitch means something, even though it's something.
Oh, yeah.
It may just be a ball or may just be something, but actually that pitch is setting up another pitch.
I just always felt it was more skill than an athletic pursuit. And the reason I liked it was because it was, a skill. I love it.
Baseball's a thinking man's game.
Why do you say that? I don't. I understand what you're saying.
Because there's so much strategy going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it is the most geometrically perfect game ever created. That whole they said if they had changed the distance between the bases even by an inch, the whole game would change.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Oh yeah.
That it's geographically perfect as a game.
And they changed the outfields, and Giants have done some terrible things the last couple of years, but they changed the outfields and stuff like that, and that changes the game a lot because there you go, different kind of records and stuff like that. But
yeah,
Giants were like the last team that still had the pitching warm up right alongside first and third base.
Mm-hmm.
They just changed that. They just put the bullpens back, and I used to love that because I used to go to Candlestick. And our seats were on first base line, and the Giants used to be on first base. And whenever Lasorda...
It was like that at Wrigley Field when I was growing up, too.
Oh, really? Yeah, and so we used to sit there, and when Lasorda used to get kicked out of the games, he and Bobby Cox also used to, they would have to walk all the way down to the first base line, and there was the door that they went into the locker. So with Bobby Cox, who was the coach of the Braves, we used to yell, "Cocksucker! Cocksucker!" And then when the pitcher is doing bad,
like he didn't get that in high school.
I know.
Come on.
All the time.
And the warm-up catcher for the pitchers when they were getting relief, we would yell at him when the pitcher was sucking on the game and say, "Hey, check the phone. Is the phone on? Check the phone for a dial tone," because we're waiting for the manager to call to start warming up.
Well, I want to thank you. I want to thank you.
Put everything back.
I want to thank you guys for talking sports tonight because this gives me credit to hold on to my Emmy, my sports Emmy, for another year. She'll testify to it. You saw the sports Emmys, right?
Totally.
And the other Emmy that wasn't a sports Emmy.
Yes.
But it's the sports Emmy that is in contention. That there are sports writers in San Francisco who still think I should turn it back in.
Whatever.
That it wasn't right. Hello there, Schmoody. How you doing tonight? We're talking sports
Good.
here. We're talking sports. What sport do you like?
Well, I played volleyball, basketball from junior high school, school, and college.
I bet you play basketball because as a female, you're tall.
Yes.
Yeah.
And volleyball, yeah.
How tall are you?
Yep.
I forget.
6 foot.
6 feet.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm 6'4", and I never went out with a tall girl like that.
Yeah,
I had one gorgeous friend. She was 6'2", and that scared me. She was.
I was always attracted to smaller women.
Yeah.
And so why I fell for this woman, I have no idea.
She was your bodyguard.
She served that function
Well, it's
too.
obvious, Alan.
Anybody?
No, you know what? I was meant to be in your life when I was meant to be.
Yeah.
Totally.
But she was not what you would call my type. I didn't go for blondes either.
Nope.
So there's no accounting for but there was something about her. She made me laugh. She's a funny lady, as is evidenced by her appearances on this show. Exceedingly funny, and women who could make me laugh always turn me on. And then on top of it, she just, she if somebody tried to attack me, she'd beat him up.
Yeah.
So, you were kind of a bodyguard.
Well, what was funny is when we were first hanging out, when people found out, because nobody ever called me Kathleen except my family. So I said, yeah, refer to me as Kathleen. And I remember we were at Tommy T's. You were having a live show, and there were a bunch of San Ramon UPS drivers there. So you do your thing, and then at break, you come to me and we talk. And so by like the fourth time, these drivers come up to me and go, "Hey, Kat, are you Kathleen?" And I say, "Yes." Shut up.
Oh boy.
Because I was very private.
Yeah, you were very private about your relationship with me,
Yeah.
and if I were a woman, I wouldn't want anybody to know they were going out with me either. You know.
No, but you know what?
Yeah.
People would say, "Oh my God, how could you stand him? He's such an asshole." And I go, "Do you guys realize his job
Used to
is
be an asshole.
No, his job is to entertain, to provoke." I go, "The person I know is nothing like him."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's the personality you have on the air, and it's not that it's not
Totally.
you; it's an extension of you.
Yes.
And then there's the personality you have off the air, which you don't do because you've spent 4 hours in a day being that person. So when you
Right.
get off, you want to get back to just, you know, melting into the woodwork.
Just being
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, so she was clearly not my type, and I don't. How long did we go together? Had to be at least a year and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So you know, it was amazing. Hello, John Larkin. How are you? How's everything down there in the
Got my San Francisco shirt on.
San Francisco?
San Francisco.
Yeah, yeah. But how's everything down there in the Tenderloin?
Tender.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Wait,
I would
wait,
like to
wait,
think
Tender.
when I lived in San Francisco and in the Bay Area, the Tenderloin was the worst district in San Francisco, practically. I mean, the worst district with white people in it. Okay, so you'd never go down there. But I figured that I've been gone from there for 30 years, 40 years. That in that time it would have gentrified and everything would have been wonderful and terrific. And you say it still sucks.
Well, they're trying to call it the mid-market area now.
The mid-market area?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds better than Tenderloin.
Yeah, because Tenderloin's got a bad rap, but so now they're calling it mid-market. But
Wow.
It's
No, isn't that the theater district?
No. Well, it is kind
Yes.
of. But Union Square, right off Union Square, is the theater district. But then
Yeah.
you go further down, and that's the Tenderloin.
yeah. But they have theaters on Market. They got the Orpheum, the
Yeah.
Golden Gate, the Warfield.
Well, that's on Market Street, and those didn't, believe it or not, those didn't used to be legitimate theaters. Those were movie theaters.
Yeah.
But they were made to do like 6 shows a day of live shows, and they would bring in people to do live shows. And then you go in, you'd see a movie, you'd see a companion feature, and then all of a sudden there'd be a little break, and then all of a sudden the curtains would part, and there was Spike Jones or whoever was doing the week there. My father used to play there quite often. But after these big movie palaces kind of closed down, they converted to being legit theaters because it was very easy. They had all the things they needed to put on a full show. So but the Kern and the Geary were the two theaters that were doing theater there at the time. The Geary Theater was legitimate, were plays, and the Curran Theater were musicals. And the reason was you needed 2 different kinds of theaters for each kind of thing. But that, I don't know if anybody really who's listening to us cares about what I'm saying right now.
Well,
but,
didn't we see Springtime
I
for
do.
Hitler at the Curran Theater?
No, we saw that at the Orpheum.
Orpheum.
Yep, we saw it at the Orpheum. Yeah.
I mean, the producers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Producers,
and we saw it with Jason Alexander and Martin Short.
No, did we?
Yes, and it was their trial run before they went to L.A.
Maybe you're right. I seem to remember it as somebody else. I'm trying to remember who it
Damn
was.
right.
Yes.
Jason Alexander did do
Thank
it there.
you.
Yeah, I know he did do it. I mean, you may be absolutely
It was Jason
right.
Alexander
Well, I mean, you
and,
wouldn't be saying that unless it was true. You know.
Right.
And who has the best memory? Come on.
Yeah.
Just-
Thank you.
I trust Kathleen.
You trust Kathleen's memory over mine, do you?
Sorry.
Totally.
Sorry, Alex.
Well, she did think that Howard Stern and I had an interaction while I was in San Francisco, and I never did. I never did. I never met Howard until he walked into my studio at Sirius XM many, many years later.
Yeah.
And he didn't come in to apologize either, you know. You know.
Howard Stern never worked.
Wig on.
What?
Stern never worked in San Francisco, did he?
No. I mean, he was on in San Francisco, but he wasn't. He didn't work out in San Francisco. No.
So how could you have ever met him in San Francisco? He never worked here.
Well, she thought that somehow I had some dealing with him prior to me going to New York, but no, I never had any dealing with him.
You know what I read today? You remember that famous Saturday Night Live skit with Richard Pryor and Chevy Chase, where he goes, they do the word association.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was written by Paul Mooney.
I'm sure it was. Yeah, that's the kind of thing he.
Honky honky.
That's a
Honky honky.
Dead honky.
Dead honky.
Well, he also wrote. You know, when there was a time when Richard Pryor had a short-lived television show, and he wrote for that. One of the pieces he wrote was the first black American president. And he's holding a press conference, and people are asking questions, and then one of them gets up and says, I have a question. He says, about what? He says, about your mother. And immediately Pryor has this posture of, what about my mother? You know. And it was some rude question the guy finally asked, and then they started to beat each other up. But that was so Paul Mooney, you know. That particular routine. You know what's interesting to me? People die, and you think, okay, I'm the only one that cares. All right? Paul Mooney. I knew the guy. He did some really proper things for me, things I really appreciated. And so, you know, I'm sad he's gone. But I didn't think I'd turn on the CBS Evening News and they'd do a 2-minute segment on Paul Mooney.
Wow.
And on Paul Mooney dying. Wow. So apparently sometimes people have this influence that isn't perceptible. But when they die, everybody goes, oh, guess who died? Paul Mooney. And all of a sudden the people at CBS are going, we got to do a piece on Paul Mooney. They are planning on giving a Lifetime Award or something to him posthumously in Oakland, because that's where he lived.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't think that would be the reaction to the death of Paul Mooney. I thought the reaction to the death of Paul Mooney would be that I'd have to get on here and explain who the hell the guy was. But everybody knows who he was here.
Yeah. But how is like CBS gonna attribute anything to him when his comedy he couldn't have on TV? Yeah. I mean, maybe some skits and stuff like that, but his true comedy, you know, stand-up stuff.
Yeah.
He was a writer, though. He was a writer.
Yeah. He was a writer, but he was also a comedian, and he was an actor. He was in movies. But he was terrific. But I just didn't think he would have that kind of impact. That, you know, the newscast would stop and say, "Hey, Paul Mooney died today." And then they'd show a little clip of Paul Mooney doing something, I was really I was very happy with it, but I was amazed. And sometimes that happens. Certain people die, and all of a sudden there's all this kind of stuff about them having died, and you go, I didn't realize the rest of the world was as hip to this guy as I was.
He was a regular on the Dave Chappelle show.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he was.
But he had there's a style he had that was very close to the vest. You know, it was very subtle.
Yeah.
He was not
very much a straight man.
Well, no, he wasn't an over-the-top comedian. No. And his stuff was incredibly relevant. I mean, he would piss a lot of white people off.
It was, and it was almost like, you know, I say truthful, but it was like he's almost like telling stories and then getting that feedback from the audience and him saying, no, that's how it is. I listened, I have like 5 or 6 stations pre-programmed on satellite with all the comedy ones, but I see the screen so I can see when the comics pop up. And so I hit him a couple times, it came up, and It's hysterical, this stuff.
Paul
Yes.
Mooney was terrific. He was just terrific. I mean, he was one of my favorite comics and one of my favorite people. I mean, he was just, and he and I got along over the years. He would appear on my show in San Francisco. He shouldn't have gotten along with me because I was a white Jewish guy, but we got along perfectly. I understood him, he understood me, and he was terrific. He was just terrific. But as I say, it's amazing that somebody went a while back, and I said the same thing. Who would have thought that when he died there would be this much news about him? So you never know what's like when I die. Maybe they'll do a whole segment on me on CBS, right? And everybody will go, "Who the fuck was he?" But anyway, you know, I'm not just a has-been. I'm a never was. Okay, so let's make that perfectly clear.
Don't,
You know, how many comedians and people are going to be at your funeral? That's going to be a lot of people there.
I don't think anybody's.
More than me.
I don't think anybody's going to show up at my funeral. I don't know
Oh,
of anybody that
great.
would.
Oh,
Shecky
yeah,
would
we'll
show
have
up.
a party.
Shecky would show up. Tony, if he could get himself out of Queens, might come to the funeral.
Yeah, I would go. If it's,
You
yeah, I
go,
mean, I would
okay.
go
So
to the funeral.
I'll save 2 seats for you and Shecky.
Yeah, I would. Go.
And he probably won't go because I don't want to go where Tony's going. So you know.
I don't blame you on that.
And Tony will supply the holy water. See, that's great.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
plenty. I found palm in her sock drawer today.
You palm in her sock.
You want me to get it? This thing.
No,
I don't
no,
know
you
where-
don't
I
have
know
to
where.
get
She
it.
saved everything, Alex. It's amazing.
You should have put her on hoarders.
I mean, hold on. You want me to get it? You don't want it. It's kind of yellowy. It's got to be real old.
Have you gone through all her
It's
stuff?
wrapped. Like it's wrapped. It must have like a.
Where did
frame or
she
something.
get the?
never
Wait a minute.
opened
Where
it.
did she get it from?
She must have took it from the church, and she sticks. I'm going through her drawers because I gave some stuff to the church, and I threw some stuff out, and I found pawn in the sock drawer. She must have forgot about it because who keeps it there?
Well, maybe the
I said,
palms.
what the- I'm going to say, I'm going to tell Checky I'm going to buy a Ouija board and try to talk to her by his house. I wonder if there's money in the house. She never really had anything, but you never know. I'm waiting to find something.
You're looking for it, aren't you?
I mean, she doesn't.
You're looking for it, aren't
I'm
you?
looking for those pennies she rolled from Mohegan Sun. I was like,
Yeah.
so what the hell is this? She was very religious, but she never went to church half the time. She was religious at home.
Well, people can be. You know, I don't think you
Yeah,
have to
which
go.
is good.
I don't think you have to go to church to be
No, that's what
religious.
she said. She says you don't have to go to church.
You know, you know, you can pray anywhere. You know, and
Hey, Tony, you saw what I put up on my page.
Yes, that's what made me think of my mother because, you know, I'll tell you the truth. I was.
what did
thinking
you?
about,
Wait a minute, hold on a second. What did you put up on your page, Schmoody?
Oh, what's it?
What did you put up?
Oh, tonight?
No, Schmoody. What did she
No,
put up?
me.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll have to go to my page and look.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Are you under Kathleen or are you under Schmoody?
Oh yeah.
But you know, I was thinking, though, Alex. So, like she said, you don't have to go to church. My mother was never really, even though we went to after religious instruction after school, she didn't care really about that. She's like, just go and get it over with. I used to hate it. They used to
Yeah.
hate me there because I used to ask them 1,000 questions. All right, get it. And this is the time my mother, he asks us too many questions. He raises too many things. He should just listen more.
By the way, you know the reason
I like
the reason we have Tony on is because we want you all to know what goes on in Queens. You know, and am I right, Jeff?
Well, I grew up.
This is Queens personified, isn't it?
It's an unusual world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Alex.
Think about it.
Alex,
Yeah.
if you go to my Facebook page, keep scrolling down and keep reading. You'll be surprised. It's about Tony.
It's about Tony. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. What do I do? I go to
It's an admission.
I go to Facebook and then I put in Kathleen.
Oh,
Kathleen.
No, it's not.
Oh, there she is, right at the
Remember what I
top.
wrote?
Here comes Kathleen. Let's see.
We don't want to give him a heart attack.
I went to Bible study for about 3 years at this church up the street. Okay, is that one of them?
No,
Yeah, that's
not-
one of them.
Okay. And then there's another one here from Tony Magno. Do this, say that. I would say
Oh yeah, they would
no.
tell me what to do in church, Alex.
Yeah.
She used to snap her
Yeah.
fingers.
There's a whole thing here on the whole little thing you guys did.
I have a good memory of what happened.
on religion.
I remember Sister Urban was her name. She used to always snap her fingers. Do this, say that. She says, no, I'm not saying that. I got to do this, say that. They were all, they had hang-ups, I think. They used to get, she used to tell my mother.
I went to confession. You know,
I got scared.
I've told that story.
But it's dark in there. I told my mother, I don't want to go
you
in
didn't
there.
even hear what I said.
You said you went to confession.
I went to
You're
confession.
Jewish. How did you go to
You did? How'd you get in? They let you. You probably could have snuck in.
Hey,
They
listen,
wouldn't.
Did you have your
anybody,
card, your paper?
here's, I've told the
You
story
did?
before. What happened was, what happened was on Saturdays, you used to go to a movie, okay? You would go to a movie. The movie theater was the Palace Theater. They would show the movie, and they would show, like, cartoons and the cereal and then the Western or something like that. And then the rest of the week, the kids would all play out the movie that they had seen that week, okay? Well, all of a sudden, I'm going to the movie, and there's nobody else there. And I'm going, what happened to all these people? And it turned out that the local church, St. Peter and St. Paul's, decided that they were going to start showing movies on Saturday and literally get all these kids to come to the movies. And the way they could go to the movie was by going to confession, and after they gave confession, they were given a ticket to the movie. So I said to one of my friends, I said, how do I go to this movie? They says, you got to go to confession. How do I do that? You go in, you sit down, you say, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned, and then you tell them what you did wrong that week, and then you walk out and they give you a ticket. So I did this every week. I would go in and I would confess. I don't know, I played with somebody else's toys or something. What is a kid going to confess to, you know?
What did I do? I'm trying to think.
Kids have nothing to confess to. So they would give it to me, and then I would go to the movie. Well, one day I'm walking down the street with my mother, and we walk past St. Peter and St. Paul's, and who should we bump into but Father Larry? And Father Larry was the priest who gave me confession every week. And he said, oh, you must be Bennett's mother. And she went, yes. He said, I want to tell you what a lovely boy he is.
Oh my
What the fuck?
And now you would think perhaps that would be followed up with, yes, I fucked him several times, but no, that wasn't what he said. He said, such a nice boy. He comes to confession every week.
Oh,
Your mother must be like, what is going on here? We'll talk about this later.
And my mother smiles and says, well, that's very nice. Thank you, Father Larry. And we start walking on, and as we get around the corner, she hits me in the back of the head and keeps saying, don't ever do that again.
She's right. I didn't want to do it, and I was going. My mother did.
I wanted to go to the goddamn movie. I said, Mom, I got to go to the movie. How am I going to go? You're not going to confession ever again.
Just make it like you're interested.
No more movies.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, at least you got a movie out of this. They made us go to confession. We didn't get anything out of it.
Oh, really?
I had to say those stupid. I didn't even say the prayers when I got out of there. I usually sit down and just do nothing.
Really? Oh, okay.
You just kneel down and just make believe. You sit there for like a minute or two, and then you just get up.
I only got a lifetime of mental illness.
A lifetime of mental illness.
I got a lifetime of the wallpaper and drapes, and my mother haunting me.
So, in other words, we're saying that at least, 3 people here, me being one of them, all went to confession?
Yeah, I went.
Anybody else go to confession?
I used to lie in confession.
Oh, you went to confession, John?
I didn't do anything. I had to lie about it.
I went all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you're a kid. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, I used to say I lied to my mom.
I used to make shit up.
Really?
And then you always had to say, it's been such and such long since my last confession. It's like, shit, I don't know how long it's been. It's been 3 days since my last confession.
No, it was always 7 days since my last confession because I wanted to go to the fucking movie.
That's why Ray's such a great actor.
Yep.
Yeah. The Catholic Church taught me everything I know.
About acting.
That's awesome.
That's why I've played many pedophiles in my career.
So listen, I got to tell you that you all got. I'm getting a little pissed with this whole thing with the vaccination.
Alex, you see what they're doing?
Well, wait a minute. Let me. That's what I'm going to talk about. So don't spoil it,
Oh,
Tony.
sorry.
Don't spoil
Tony's
it.
so smart.
Don't jump in and
I love
ruin
Tony.
my story. So I'm mad because if I just waited, I could have gotten in on lotteries. And as you know, Ohio has a lottery going.
Really?
Yes, they have a lottery, and it's $1 million a day or something for a week
Yeah.
or something for people who get their vaccinations. If you get vaccinated, you're entered into the lottery. I'm going, hey, I went and got mine early. Nobody had a lottery back then. Can't I do the lottery retroactively, you know? No. So our governor here in New York is a combination competitor and cheapskate. Okay? So he announces today, get a shot, get a chance at winning $5 million.
I heard that.
And I'm going, he's trying to beat out Ohio, right? Then he explains it. Everybody that gets a shot gets a lottery ticket, a scratch.
I was like,
And the top prize on the scratcher, which is a $20 ticket, by the way, is $5 million. But you have a 1 in 7 chance of winning $20.
you know what I told my brother? I got a better chance of getting COVID, Alex.
So I'm thinking to myself, what a cheapskate. I mean, he's not even taking money out of the coffers of the state and saying, $5 million, we're going to give it away to one person who goes and gets a shot, you know? And that would probably, I wonder if it's going to help. I don't think so, not for a cheap lottery ticket.
We got to bribe them to take the vaccine. It's
Well,
crazy.
it says vax, and what was the term he used?
You know, in San Francisco, it'd be like, get your vaccine and we'll give you a life supply of rice Rona.
Yeah,
Really?
the San Francisco treat.
Oh, I love rice and I buy Noah's too now, but it cooks in 7 minutes.
They're not
cooks.
having a problem in San Francisco.
What were you saying? What are you saying?
70% of the population.
Turn up your mic a little bit there.
Oh, that's new.
Really? Yeah, over 70%. Yeah, really. That's
Charlie.
new. Is that better?
A little better, yeah.
I was closer to it. So anyhow, yeah, in San Francisco, they don't need to give anything away. They're like over 70% are fully vaccinated.
What the hell?
Where? In San Francisco?
In the city of San Francisco, yes.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah,
I think Connecticut is about that number.
Oh, I think it's larger in Connecticut. And it's getting there here in New York City as well. And we only had 17 deaths in New York State yesterday. So that's getting better. And
So you wanted to get in on the lotto, huh, Alex? I see.
why can't I get on the lottery retroactively?
Right.
I mean, come on. I was
Why
there
don't you go
early.
take
I
up an
waited in
address?
line for 2 hours to
You
get
did wait,
mine.
remember?
Huh?
You waited in line that time. I remember.
Yeah,
you
it
had
was
your
2
video
hours.
tape.
Now you got to wait 3 minutes. You
I mean,
know?
now you can get it anywhere.
To get that $20 lotto ticket, you probably would have spent $50 in batteries on your thermometer.
That's right. That's right.
Damn it.
So anyway, so I'm all pissed that I did that. So I don't feel right.
And nobody likes it when Alex is pissed. That is so scary.
You don't want me to be pissed? No, absolutely not.
I thought that was the part between the 7:30 guest and when he comes on to us, that 3 or 4 minutes that he talks how bad he feels, how nothing's working out.
Yeah, I should talk about more.
Your monologues are actually pretty good, Alex.
And the technical issues. That's my
Oh yeah,
favorite.
that's funny too.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, you know, when I have technical issues on this program, the numbers go up incredibly because people like to see me fail. And I figure if I get a good, bad problem some night, it's actually going to be very good for the show. You know?
It'll probably happen on Tuesday night.
Huh?
It'll probably happen on Tuesday night like it did this last Tuesday.
No, really? No.
YouTube shut down because Phil was going to be on.
Actually, I got that whole problem seems to be fixed. Knock on wood. You know. Because I put everything on a different USB port and just put two things in there, the cameras. You know, you were right. You were right.
What? I mean, back in the day, I remember Alex working on his computers, but he's got these massive hands. And you'd be inside the
massive hands? I have massive hands.
Yeah, you do. And then you.
Well, that's a clue to other that's a clue to other things.
Yeah. You have a massive hands.
Big hands, big heart.
Big glove.
I think what Kathleen's trying to say. I think what Kathleen's trying to say is you got big hands and big feet. You got big gloves and big shoes.
Yeah.
You have some Milton Berle hands.
Milton Berle hands.
Yeah, big hands. Another.
Anyway, no, but what were you saying? I used to have my hands in equipment and stuff, and was fixing stuff.
Oh yeah, but boy, I tell you, your cursory, you'd be so effing pissed.
Oh, about what? About things going bad?
Yo, totally.
Oh yeah, well I took it personally. So I felt the technology hated me.
Yes.
You know, and I had to get even with it. So how's everything at work, Brian?
Good.
Good?
Good. Yeah, we're just trying to expand too much too quick, but our VP, well, actually, President of Operations talked today, and he understands that. So it's just going crazy. We're just trying to get China going right now. China and India's on pause right now. We're gonna do some other stuff over there, and yeah, it's just crazy. A lot of stuff.
Well, you know what I heard about China tonight from Marjorie, because she has, you know, she works for the Chinese, and a lot of the people who she works with travel over to China and everything like that. You can't travel to China unless you've been vaccinated. Now, you'd think that's pretty simple. I'll just show them my little passport, you know, and that'll be okay. No, you have to be vaccinated by them.
Oh, really?
It has to be their vaccine. They won't...
A chink vax?
Huh?
As Tony would say, a chink vax?
Yeah, well, with
Tony would say?
With two, you get an egg roll. But no, they won't let the people. So you have to come to the country. They give you their vaccination, and then you have to stay at a hotel for 2 weeks. You have to.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. So I mean, it's impossible for people to go from the United States to China, just even on a vacation. I mean, somehow. I mean, let's face it, this is working for us, okay? Yeah. So give us a little bit of a break. But now we're finding out we may have to get a booster at 6 months.
Yeah, we had to do, for India to fire up some sub-assembly stuff, we had to do videos and everything to send to them, and they did really good. And then we have our local plant, the one over in the East Bay, and those guys are like, we're there and they can't figure it out. But India's doing really good. Now China, we have videos for them, but we have to have everything translated for them. So yeah, so it's very challenging, but it's keeping me really busy.
The trouble with India is they've got enough vaccine because we've sent them over a ton of it, but they can't get it into arms. They're having trouble vaccinating.
Northern India's doing much better now, but the southern part is really bad still. Yeah.
And the southern part is the big cities, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
they're still having a hard time.
Have you ever?
Yeah. Then we have the local ones. We just got keys for another building in Newark over near Fremont.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our first plant that's fired up a couple lines. We got approval. Yeah, so it's going good.
Are you going to go in the east at all? East Coast?
Yes, I will be stopping East Coast when I make other trips for sure.
No, okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a trip maybe in a couple months with the wife.
In case people don't know, Brian's company makes these things, and these are testing
they're test kits, cartridges for.
Yeah.
We do everything from GBS strep for pregnant women to MTB with Bill Melinda Gates, or is that Bill or Melinda Gates? Let's just say.
No, it's Bill and or Melinda Gates.
For Africa, and then we do everything from flu, normal flu stuff, respiratory disease during the normal seasons, and then when COVID hit, we just exploded. So we're like,
do you make swabs? Do you make swabs?
So
Alex,
every
we were the company that Trump couldn't pronounce. He couldn't pronounce our name, so he said Abbott Labs and Safayed.
I
printed that up on my wall. It's so funny.
Well, what's the name of your company? Because it's not on here.
It's called Cepheid.
Oh, Cepheid. There it is.
Why.
It's at the bottom. It's at the very bottom.
Here's a picture of it, Alex. This is what it looks like when you put up one of his little.
It's got one of these little.
I know you got a test yet, but it looks like you're standing there going, and how the hell can we read it? It could be a sample box of condoms for all we know.
Well, wait a minute. I'm going to do
That's
the.
why I only say swabs on the television.
Oh, wait a minute. You have this. These. Oh, there we go.
We get Schwabs from Italy. Everybody does.
Really?
India and China. So, but we had a shortage of swabs.
This thing is, my phone isn't
They were
reading.
made by my friend Charles Schwab's.
My phone isn't reading the QR code. Maybe, or isn't it supposed to?
No,
China wants.
It's a 2D barcode
Oh,
special.
Oh, I see. It's not meant. It's not meant for me to read what.
No, we're the guys who started the company are pretty genius. So instead of a software going by the cartridge, we actually have each cartridge has its own identifier. So we can have one big system, and we can run MTB, we can run GBS, we can run flu, different assays at the same machine. All we do is barcode it, so it goes by that assay instead of usually like Abbott Labs. They say, "I'm gonna run flu."
Do you know there's not one person listening to us who knows what you're talking about?
There's 50 people now. Look at the numbers. They're skyrocketing.
Yeah, the numbers.
Sorry you don't understand this stuff, Alex.
What? Well, I mean, it's just all initials. You know, everything's initials today. All diseases are initials. I have IBS. Oh, well, very good for you.
Tuberculosis.
Yeah.
Great American Broadcast, GAB. Yeah, everything's initials.
I have ED. Because you don't want to say erectile dysfunction.
Extra dick.
Extra dick, yeah.
And ET has extra testicles.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Do you consider your a competitor to BD?
Yeah, BD is a competitor, but we also get some parts from them. We also
Who
get
the fuck is BD? More initials.
Beck and Dickinson. Come on.
Yeah, really. Come on, Alex.
Who?
Yeah, Beck and Dickinson.
Beck and Dickinson?
Very big.
How about KFC?
Yeah.
Do you get equipment from KFC?
No, I get my Schwabs from KFC.
Oh.
I think Ray's trying out for some parts, I guess.
Yeah, he's trying a little shtick. He's
I don't know what the hell. I'm sorry.
Ray, is there like some work, like rumors going around for acting or anything?
Just on Broadway. Nobody else is opening up.
Yeah.
And he's here and not on Broadway.
Yeah, I know I'm not on Broadway because I don't live in the right place.
Yeah. So.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Do you do musicals?
Yeah, I've done tons of musicals.
Really?
Not watching them, Ray. Actually being in them.
Yeah, being in them. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you?
I love musicals.
Are you the only straight guy in the musical?
Yeah. You know how there's this big thing with Black Lives Matter and stuff, which I think is fine, but like there's so many other people that in theater that are prejudiced against like straight men.
Yeah.
Straight older men. But
just tell them you're biased.
Well, when I was first starting out, I wanted to be an actor as opposed to anything else. That was what my career path was. And I only went into radio because I figured if I got into radio, maybe I got somewhat successful, people would ask me to act. And that never happened. Okay. But I had a few times that I was almost did stuff, but But I was going to be an actor.
We'll do an off-Broadway show starring Alex Bennett.
No, so I went and I did. I auditioned for plays in San Francisco, and I got a few. And I had this one director who really liked me, and then he found out that I wasn't gay, but he didn't hold that against me. He in fact thought that was great that I was doing this in what was essentially a very gay environment at the time. And I didn't seem to care, But I just had to tell him, hey, I'm straight, so you'd be wasting your time coming on to me, and he appreciated that,
Where did you do? Do you remember?
Emmy.
However,
you won an Emmy though, yeah.
Yeah, I will tell you something though. I did a show over at Channel 20 in San Francisco, which was at that time owned by Jim Gabbard. And Jim was great.
Gabbard.
Jim was a great guy. I enjoyed Jim. But
he was great.
I did this thing called Captain UHF or something, and I wore this propeller helmet, and I would they put me in a space kind of situation, and I would introduce the movies. And I had a puppet, Mr. Rabbit, and I did things like that, right? So now I do the show. I'm doing it for a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden, I mentioned something to somebody about my girlfriend, and all of a sudden, the rumors all over the station were he's straight, because Jim was gay, and everybody at that station was gay, except for Captain UHF, right? And when it got around that I was straight,
letters again.
What? Yeah.
Captain UHF, another one.
When I got out that I was straight, 2 weeks later, I didn't have a show anymore.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
No viewers.
I was a breeder, apparently, and that was not acceptable. Huh?
And didn't Jim Gabbard have a 737 that he used to fly around?
I don't think he had a 737. No, he was.
Oh, I thought he did.
He was quite wealthy, but he didn't have a 737. No, he had a very nice boat. He had a very nice boat he lived on, and he used to invite us over to the boat. Did you ever go with me on that boat, Kathleen? Yeah. He would invite us over on the boat, and we would. I think this was long after I was Captain UHF too. He was still very nice to me. It's just that
he was very nice.
It's
and
okay,
he was very
Kathleen.
down to earth.
The people. He had a dog. I got to tell you the story about this dog. He had this dog, and I had this puppet, Mr. Rabbit. It was just a stupid rabbit puppet I had found somewhere, and I was just, Mr. Rabbit got really nasty with me, and he was a nasty, vile puppet, right? And so I'm doing the show, and then we take a break. And his dog had run of the entire television station. I mean, if you were doing a newscast and the dog walked into the studio, you did not chase the dog out of the studio. The dog was like the most valued employee of Channel 20. So the dog comes in while I'm doing my show, and he grabs my puppet, puts it in his mouth, and starts walking away. And I say, come back here and give me my goddamn puppet back. And the dog goes, kind of gives me the doggy finger, And he's walking around like he owns the place, which he does actually. And I will go over and I take Mr. Rabbit and I try to pull it out of his mouth, and now he's going grrr, right? And I'm trying to pull it. I'm going, give me the rabbit, you son of a bitch. And everybody's going, shh, be nice to the dog. I said, he's got my puppet. You couldn't do anything bad about this dog. You couldn't say bad things about him. You couldn't yell at him. But he was a spoiled little brat, is what he was.
Did James Gabbard own Channel 20?
Yes.
In San Francisco?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Now I know who he is.
Yeah. He was a great guy. He was a great guy. He was a very nice man.
A buddy of mine that was a San Francisco cop was working undercover in something in the porn industry like 25, 30 years ago or something like that. And they caught James Gabbard on his knees or something like that, doing whatever, I forget, oral sex to another guy or something, and he was arrested.
Yeah.
But it
Today,
was
today, be able to be mayor of San Francisco, but you
That's
know.
right.
He'd be applauded. I was on the channel once. I was in a dinner theater thing like
What, we just lost?
some years ago.
Oh,
Oh, that's it. That's interesting, Ray. Ray.
We're
Can't
losing
get
it.
that
He
anymore.
walked into.
Oh, there he is. He's now you're okay. Tell us again, Ray, because we didn't hear you.
I just wanted to say I was on channel 20 once, like 35 years ago. I was doing this dinner theater thing, and they did a promotion. It was so cheesy, and he was so, everything he did was so cheesy, you know, but funny. I don't know. It was just unique.
Yeah, but what were you going to say, John?
Remember the dance show?
The dance show. That was hilarious.
Yes, he had a dance show.
I heard John was in one. He was a dancer.
And the weirdest people are on there all the time.
TV20 dance party.
Right.
That was awesome.
Right.
I love that.
I went on
And
that
they did
show.
the high schools too.
I can't get that channel anymore on YouTube. How do you get that channel?
I don't know. I don't know what it's become. I think
you need an antenna.
I'm probably right when I say this. Jim is dead, right?
Yeah,
I just
he is.
Googled him, Alex.
he died.
He was smart. He
Who?
went to Stanford University.
Who?
James Gabbard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a very bright
Studied
guy.
electrical engineering.
Very bright guy.
He made millions.
He made
many
He made many millions. He started a radio station, and it became very successful. And he sold it for millions upon millions of dollars. And then he took those millions and bought a TV station, bought a UHF station, Channel 20, and he was running that station for many, many years. And he was just a highlight of San Francisco broadcasting. What can I say?
No, he's still alive, Alex.
He's still alive?
They said he lives in Sausalito.
Really? Oh, well, then I guess he wasn't gay.
Wikipedia has him alive still.
Really?
Yeah.
How old is he?
I don't know. He was born in 36.
Wow.
Oh,
he's
that's old.
So he's 84.
Wow. Son of a bitch. Well, good for Jim. Jim?
Why don't you give him a call,
You
Alex?
can get him on. That would be
Get on
good.
the show.
Give me a call. You might not want to call. I'm still not gay. But, you know.
You should tell him you won now. You can play a trick on him.
Yeah. He'll never see you physically, so just tell him you're gay now.
Well, you know, one time I had somebody
Yeah, but
call
he's
me.
still-
about-
he's smart.
Oh, I always hated it when people went to me and said, "What are you, gay or something?" And my answer, they would do it on the radio. They go, "What are you, gay or something?" I went, "Yeah. What is it to you?" And that would always stop them.
Yeah.
You know, because I always felt it was, because I tell people that I grew up gay. Because my father was a musician and he used to take me to the ballet, and everybody thought that because my father didn't take me to baseball games and I went to the ballet, I must be a fairy, as they called
I
it.
think you have a lot better culture by not going to a baseball game.
Yeah, well, anyway, they used to say, "Are you gay or something?" You know, so I grew up, everybody thought I was gay. They always accused me of being gay.
It's okay, we still do.
You know, and there wasn't a gay gene in me. Wait a minute, that doesn't sound right.
Just once there was a gay gene in you, but that was many years ago.
Yes, but his name was Gene, as a matter of fact, and no, but so when I grew up, this whole notion of being gay didn't hit me as anything bad. Plus, I was in the theater. I knew a lot of gay people, and I was, there were a lot of gay people associated with my life, so I never felt any kind of feeling that I had to, especially that I had to defend myself, about that. So when somebody would say, "Are you gay or something?" I go, "Yeah, I am. Whatever."
Yeah, I'm very happy. Thank you.
I think his station is gone. I think they took it down. I have an antenna and it's not here.
Coffee.
KOFY.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone, I think. Yeah.
No,
It's now moved to 21, Ray.
Oh, it has? Oh.
No,
I'm
no.
kidding.
I got to
don't
tell you, TV stations don't disappear. Hold it on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Channel 20,
Coffee.
Go on.
San
K-O-F-Y.
Francisco.
I think it's still on.
San Francisco.
I'm looking. I have an antenna. I'm looking here. It's not listed.
What happened here? I didn't want that.
It's on cable 713.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe I'm
that
just not
sounds about
getting.
right.
Wait a minute. What's this?
Oh,
Wait a
okay.
minute. Now I'm all
Coffee is on 7:30. Okay.
But it says.
No, I believe you. I mean, maybe I'm having trouble getting it.
713.
Oh, it's a WB affiliate.
That's
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
WB. That's how it's listed on here.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But so Jim Gabbert's still alive. Channel 20 is still on the air. Well, we've accomplished a lot tonight, folks.
And we didn't even talk about the president.
And we have 36 people watching this. So, you know, life's good. What can we do to get this up to 100 people?
What about your sexual oohs and ahs on the weekend?
Well, no, but that would be on the audio thing. I'm talking about something here that I could do.
I'll bet you a lot more people listen to you on the radio than do live like this.
I think
we could each have our significant others come out and do sexy dances.
Sexy dances?
Yeah.
You do the
or
sexy.
Brian could just have his wife.
We'll have Schmoody do her sexy dance.
And Schmoody can do some sexy dancing.
No.
How many people watch your walks in the park, Alex?
More than watch the show.
No, actually, I maybe get. Oh, today I had the other day I had 15 were watching at one time.
Yeah, but what? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I look at it after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people do that. You know.
Yeah, I do that.
I think it's interesting.
You know, but they like to watch me when I'm, after I've done what I've done, and also watch me after I've failed. But anyway.
What if you get dollar lottery tickets, and every time you have a guest, you give them a lottery ticket? There you go.
I could say that. Somebody tomorrow on this program is going to win
$5 million.
Has a chance to win $5 million.
There you go.
Has a chance.
Hundreds of people.
A chance to win $5 million. Of course,
there you go.
The
Results
chance of
not
winning
typical.
that $5 million is next near to impossible. But,
I'll go out and buy 20 or 5 $20 lotto tickets of scratchers here in California and send them to you, Alex.
What I'll do is I'll buy one of these lottery tickets.
Absolutely.
And then I'll announce, watch our show,
Chance to win $1
win
million.
a chance to win $5 million.
Yeah.
And then when we do the show, I will pick one person out of the 10,000 who will then hopefully be watching, who gets the lottery ticket. Yeah.
And then you're willing to split it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what you're going to do with the money,
Just
Jeff.
in case.
Jeff, what are you going to do with the money?
So watch and have a chance to win $5 million, and then one of the people watching, maybe I'll give it to Brian or
Jeff,
Charlie.
you
I'll
have to
give
show up
Charlie
on
the
the
lottery
show.
ticket.
It has to be live. They have to come on the show live.
Well, no, you have to be part of the citizen panel.
Right,
Or
none
no,
of this
you can be
side
just be
text.
watching. Of course, I don't know how you're watching, but you have to be watching.
Okay.
Things like that. Well, again tonight, we tonight did not talk about anything. This is
That's
really
why I was
becoming a
quiet
show.
for
This
the
is really
half hour.
becoming a show about nothing.
About nothing.
Yeah,
Seinfeldian.
very Seinfeldian.
Like
No, it really is very nice too. There isn't that much to talk about. What you want to talk about Israel? I mean, it is what it is. Marjorie's been really depressed lately, and I said that's just because you watch MSNBC all the time, and they're always looking for horrible things to talk about. They're not going to say, hey, today is a pretty dead news day. Why don't we play?
Everybody come over
Listen,
to Jack's
we
show.
we here at
Friday.
MSNBC, we're associated with the Cartoon Network, so we're going to run
You get to watch
cartoons
Charlie
today.
fall asleep on Jack's show.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks,
That's
Brian.
fun.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Everybody's
And tomorrow
falling
night
asleep.
we'll
I gotta go to work.
talk. Tomorrow night we'll
Gotta
talk
do some work now, so.
nothing but politics
poor thing.
tomorrow night. Thanks, Alan. Thanks very much to Charlie Wallace. Thanks to Ray Renati. Thanks to the lovely and adorable Schmute. And thanks to John Larkin. Tony, thank you. And thank you to Jeff for being here. Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you, okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. There'll be another citizen panel assembling right after this on the intersection with Jack Bishop. He does it via Skype, and Gabnet Live is what you do to call on Skype. We'll be back again tomorrow night, last show of the week. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her. And by the way, please, if you don't have a vaccination, get one. If you aren't vaccinated, wear a mask and stay safe out there and keep other people safe too. Good night, everybody.